Hello everyone. Welcome to Real News and the story that you guys send to me on Twitter. I'm basically scrapping that whole News with Phil thing because I thought the title was stupid, but I'm keeping it conceptually the same, where I'm going to do these videos, where you have 2 world stories, 2 US stories, 1 sports story, and 1 news story sent by you guys. That's the "and" part. Hi. Don't be too thrilled to be in one of my videos. Anyways, New Dog wanted to be part of the video here today, so I let him. That'll be 20 bucks. Do you have 20 bucks? I'll take that as yes. Anyway, let's get to it. Starting off in the world news here. Catalonia. Do you know where Catalonia is, New Dog? Correct, it's in Spain. Good boy. Anyways, Catalans took to the polls yesterday, Sunday, to vote to secede from Spain and the control of Madrid. They're disgruntled and they don't want to be a part of the country anymore. Now, I find this unique for a number of reasons. One of which is that Catalonia, which is on the border between Spain and France, on the eastern side of the border, is the it makes 1/5 of Spain's wealth. So it's a very important region to Spain. For them to lose it, it would be a significant blow to the national economy. But aside from that, it's that now we have a trend in Europe of one where we had Scotland, an entire country, wanting to break free from the control of the United Kingdom and become their own separate entity, their own country. You know, they'll tax themselves, they'll take care of exports, imports, etc., etc. But that fell short to now, just a few months later, we have Catalans over in Catalonia voting to secede from Spain. So you have a number of people, and Catalonia is a region that has how many people, New Dog? Correct, 7 million. 2 million of which voted to secede from Spain. Now, it wasn't an official vote. This isn't a vote that Madrid recognizes or anything. Isn't that correct, New Dog? He's thrilled. It isn't an official vote or anything like that. Madrid is seeing it as an illegal procedural vote, so nothing's really going to come of it. But it does send the message that millions of people are displeased with the way the government is running and voice their displeasure. New Dog, watch me. Watch me. Release. There's a piece of food down there. See how good he holds? Anyway. It's interesting to see that now this is a trend. This is officially a trend over in Europe, that these areas are trying to say, hey, we were part of, hello. We were part of a region, a country for hundreds of years, centuries, and these regions, and in some cases countries like Scotland, don't want to be part of the conglomerate of nations or the conglomerate of regions, in Spain's case, that they've been a part of for years on end. So it's very interesting because I'd like to see what is actually going to come of this and what is going to be the first region, because eventually a region or a country that is part of another conglomerate of countries is going to want to eventually break free and successfully do it. And then you're going to get a whole other trend that comes from that. Because right now all you have is places trying to do it and not successfully doing it. So anyways, interesting climate in the world right now, specifically in Europe. And over in Hong Kong, there's protests. And New Dog doesn't care. Anyways, protests in Hong Kong right now. What else is new? There's a bunch of farmers over in Hong Kong that are upset with the government that is basically kowtowing to the needs and wants of land developers. One article I was reading, it states that the top 10 wealthiest tycoons, sorry, I didn't mean to bop you in the nose there, New Dog. All the top 10 wealthiest tycoons over in Hong Kong all have their hand in real estate ventures, in that they build real estate. What is happening with farmers now over in Hong Kong is their land is being constantly seceded away because these bigger cities build out bigger and they procreate like rabbits in a lot of parts of Asia right now. And they need that land for housing. So the farmers are just going, okay, could you guys move back over here? Now could you move back over here? Now could you move back over here? And a lot of these new housing structures are more for higher end clientele, citizens that can afford a higher end type living facility. So these farmers that get displaced from their land, they can't just say, okay, well, I just won't farm anymore. I'll just get a place in that building that's being built on my property or my former property. Hello, new dog. They can't even afford to do that. So they're getting double fucked. And it's a shame because this is just a trend that's going to be going as long as the world keeps going round and round. And it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's something that's expected because those that have the money, have the power, have the influence, and will get their way. These protests, frankly, while they're nice in principle, I don't see them accomplishing anything. I mean, they might get more parcels of land designated for, agriculture or whatever, but at the end of the day, those housing facilities and the fact that the wealthiest people in the nation are willing to invest in those housing facilities are what the government is going to obey to first and foremost. So anyways, I like that people protest, but I don't see that going much of anywhere. Oh, and topping off the U.S. news, let's move right to the U.S. news. The 2 U.S. citizens held captive in North Korea were returned home. That's wonderful. It's great. It's nice that they were returned home unharmed. They were sentenced to 15 years of hard labor for committing acts of espionage. Now, when I first heard about this, and to all the way right now that they're returned home, I still have the same sentiment in my mind. What the fuck were you doing in North Korea to begin with? One guy was there as a do-gooder. He's in his mid-20s. He was there as a do-gooder, doing do-good things, and the other was there as a tourist. There's a guy, I think he's from Wisconsin, in his 50s, and he left a Bible in some sailors club in North Korea because he was there as a tourist. And he just left the Bible, which, I don't know, maybe he has some sort of religious agenda that he was going to leave one Bible and it was just going to, infect everyone with Jesus and it was just going to spread and end communism. Anyways, who knows what the plan was. What I'm saying is, that's great that you wanted to, tour North Korea and all, but of all the places I could think to visit that I would want to tour, North Korea would probably be near the top, right next to Iran. Seriously, what the fuck? You had to go there as a tourist? You're dying that bad to go to North Korea? Granted, in a perfect world, we should be able to all just go wherever to whatever corner of the world and not be treated as potential spies or espionage if we cough in public wrong or something. It's why would you put yourself through that? You know you're going to be scrutinized, you know you're going to be under a microscope, and you know from countless instances in the past that people have been taken under very suspicious circumstances, held trial, found guilty, and locked up for years in these countries simply because they're Western world citizens. Fuck, just don't go there. I know it sucks. Oh, you can't tour there. I know a couple years ago some U.S. citizen was taken captive in Iran because they were mountain hiking and they were seen as spies. You couldn't fucking mountain hike anywhere else? You had to go to Iran to mountain hike? Get the fuck out of here. I don't care what kind of mountain hiking enthusiast you are. Just fucking mountain hike in your own country. Go to fucking Nepal. At least they're not going to arrest you over there for espionage. There's nice mountains everywhere. You don't need to go to fucking Iran. Anyway. This next story in the U.S. news. Alright, there was a guy, he lived outside of Boston. He was waiting for a commuter train, and a lady was struck and killed. Now, that's not even the main point of the story here. Well, it's kind of half of the point. Alright, this guy was so disgusted by the lady that was struck and killed by the commuter train that he walked up to the dead body, went over, was photographed doing this, reached in her pocket and stole her cell phone. Yeah, that's what it was. I'm just making sure I wasn't just fantasizing something there. It's a sick fantasy. Anyway, this is like one of those instances where it's like, you know, the punishment could no way seek proper retribution for this. Because this is like one of the people that deserves to be buried under the fucking jail, as the saying goes. Like, what's sick about this is this guy might not even get any jail time. What can you charge him with other than it's in essence a petty theft. It's not like a felony theft of like $1 million from a bank or something. I mean, I wouldn't go to jail if I stole your cell phone. I'd have to pay damages if I got caught, and I'd get a chargeable offense to my name. But it's like, my God, this guy watched someone die and then took their little doodad, their little hipsy gypsy fucking phone. The fuck is a hipsy gypsy? How old am I? I couldn't believe that shit. Anyway, sports. I couldn't believe this either. The Green Bay Packers kicked the ever-loving fucking shit out of the Chicago Bears last night. So bad that people are calling in Chicago Bears fans are calling for the resignation of head coach Mark Trestman, are hoping Jay Cutler takes a vacation in North Korea and gets kidnapped for espionage. Anyway, a number of hateful things were said about the Bears, and deservedly so. The fans deserve to be outraged. That was a big rivalry game. That was a big fucking embarrassment on national television. I understand what it's like to be a big football fan. Now, what happened from this last night on Twitter? Now, I want to start off by saying I know this is just a minority of Bears fans that did this, that were upset, that were that in an uproar about this. But Mark Trestman, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, has 2 daughters. His daughters were vehemently attacked, for lack of a better word, on Twitter, having sexually explicit things said to them, hateful things, harassing things said to them. Now I'm one to cry foul and just say, you know what, just grow a thick skin, it's the internet. But this is an instance where the internet just goes too fucking far. Say whatever you want to Mark Trestman or Jay Cutler or anyone else on the Bears that took to the field last night that doesn't even deserve to be wearing a jersey or a headset on the sideline. Say whatever you want to them. When you start bringing it into having to say hateful things to children of the coach that have absolutely no absolute influence in any calls or any play on the field that night is fucking pathetic. And it's shit like this that happens on the internet all the time. Hell, even New Dog, cover your ears. Even New Dog has had death threats thrown his way. It's like, what the fuck is the matter with people? Like, are you that sad and lonely that you have to just lash out on someone that has absolutely nothing to do with nothing? I always said, say whatever you want about me. I've had some fantastic fantasy lies spun about me and what's happened with this person and that person and what was done here and there. Say whatever you want. I don't care. It doesn't change my reality. But saying hateful things about someone like my dog or my fiance or Mark Trestman's kids, like what fucking goes through your mind to take it to that level? Anyway, there's always assholes on the internet, and I know this is just a minority, a very, very slim minority of fans of the Chicago Bears that lashed out at Mark Trestman's kids, and I seriously doubt the majority of Chicago's Bears fans condone this. And I'll tell you what, if this was Eagles fans, and this story happened out of Philadelphia, oh, you'd never hear the fucking end of this. Never. And that's one of the reasons why I'm reporting about this, is because this wasn't Philadelphia. It wasn't a town that has the stigma of the asshole fans, even though there's just a few instances that got blown way out of proportion, like the whole Santa Claus incident. But you know what? Don't worry. Don't even bother looking into what the facts of the matter are, because we in Philadelphia, we're used to it. We know we're going to get stuck with that stigma, that stereotype, no matter what. And then we're going to see things like this. We're going to see Oakland Raiders fans stabbing each other in the parking lot and that not even making the news, and Mark Trestman's kids getting harassed by Chicago's Bears fans and that not even making the news, other than a rumbling or two here or there. And then if it happens in Philadelphia, it gets blown up. We know we have that stigma attached to us. We know it. We just see the hypocrisy around the country. But anyway, it's just, why? Why go to that next level? Anyone's fans. And I'm not saying everything the Philadelphia Eagles fans has been all good and kosher, but fuck, man, I couldn't ever imagine saying something about like Tony Romo's child or Jerry Jones' kids or something like that. Like I couldn't think of a scenario like they could beat us 100-0. The Cowboys could win the NFC Championship against the Eagles 100-0. I still wouldn't say something bad about Tony Romo's child. Anyway. And in the real news brought to me by you, on Twitter I got sent this. You know, that is one of the age-old questions, and I'm going to come to a final conclusion to it here today. Because peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, in my professional, analytical, news reporter opinion that has no sort of certification or formal training in any sort of news reporting, I would say absolutely yes. One of the main reasons why is if you look at the complexion of peanut butter, there's a lot of people that have a peanut butter complexion, and grape jelly, well, alright, no one really looks like grape jelly, but the point is, they're two contrasting colors, and when you put them together, the colors often stay separate. Now one would think, if they were in some sort of racial harmony, the colors would mix. You would get like, a more lighter purple from the brownish tone of the peanut butter mixing with the darker color of the jelly. And then you have like the reds too, and all sorts of different colors of jelly. But no matter what, when you put the sandwich together and then like you take a bite and look at the sandwich, the colors don't mix. They don't mix because the two components are racist. If they weren't racist, they would mix and they would become one happy, colorful, purplish toned sandwich. But they don't. They become separate. And they don't really mix up till they go into the death machine, which is your mouth. But at that point, it doesn't matter if they're not racist anymore because they're dead. Anyway, thank you for sending me that. That is a very interesting note and just something that we've all considered because we've all made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and we all know that peanut butter and jelly are just the biggest racist fucks out there. So, anyways, if you got a real news headline, it doesn't have to be accompanied with a picture like that. You can just tweet me something that's just a news headline. It doesn't have to have like, official picture or anything like that. Send it to me on Twitter @TheArchFiend. And you too may be part of a future video here. Anyways, have a good day, a better tomorrow, and no more death threats to New Dog. He has feelings. Isn't that right, New Dog? He's asleep. He doesn't care. Have a good day, everyone.